3.
Good morning, Awesome Life 101.
Good morning, everybody.
How are you doing? We are very excited about this morning's topic, protecting your peace. And I will be honest, we chose this topic. I chose this topic because it's something that I needed to focus on this week. And that was even before all of the craziness that took place in Washington, D.C. If you've been doing a good job of protecting your own peace, maybe you've not been watching the news. But Tovy and I are actually recovering newsaholics. And for many, many years, watching the news was our form of escape from our jobs and everything else. And so we would watch the news for hours on end. And so I chose this topic, protecting your peace, even before realizing what a crazy news week it was going to be. And so it was great that I had this focus this week, and we were able to practice protecting our peace in the midst of all the craziness that was going on in the news. And we were able to be very intentional about turning off the news and protecting our own peace. So I welcome you. I hope that, I guess all that is to say, I don't know about Tovy. I'm not an expert yet at protecting my peace. And as a matter of fact, it's something that I'm really just learning and working on anew. And so I wanted to choose the topic this week to help me pay attention to it, focus on it, and learn some new strategies and skills that then we could share with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, protecting your peace is very, very important, right? Is about taking people, negative people from your environment, right? Setting your boundaries. We have to do that because otherwise you're gonna be constantly living in somebody's world, right? Because each individual we live in our own world, actually, all right. The things that somebody do is not, it shouldn't be affecting you, all right. If something is affecting you negatively, that means you need to stay away from it, because protecting your boundaries is all about being in a positive mindset, right? We have to make sure we are in a positive mindset so we can be more focused in what we're doing, right? And like you start with the news, right? I mean, it's a great thing to just stay away from the bad news. I mean, there's a lot of things, great things happen in the war, but unfortunately, our news is all about what's negative right there, and it make the war even more toxic to be on. So that's why we need to find this place that create this center, that you I mean, create this sanctuary that you can just stay there and be in your own peace, right?
I guess I would say too that kind of the goal is to create a center, a sanctuary so strong that no matter what is going on around, no matter what the chaos is, you are the center of peace.
Yeah.
And your peace and calm spreads outward rather than just avoiding.
Yeah.
Watching the news is that you can be in the midst of it and actually spread peace, your own peace outward.
Yeah, and that's how you do it, right? How you do is about getting your personal space, and don't make the you don't have to take things personal, right?
Yeah.
If you see something negative, even if it happened towards you, right? Don't take it personal, because 99% of the time, what the people saying about you is not really about you. Is about them.
them their
Is like
experiences.
their
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
All right. And that's something very, very important for we know, so we can help our own self to actually be focused on what we want to do in life. Yeah. That's why we have to have this place, like a room, or or can be the whole house. That you can just stay there and meditate, and listen to the sound of music that actually will empower you to actually empower others, right?
Yeah.
In book, you can be toxic that way, right? To be a positive toxic person, like you have so much
Into
positive,
infectious. Yeah.
infectious.
Toxic is always bad, but you could be
Yes, infectious,
infectious. Yeah,
infectious. Yeah,
infectious peace.
yeah.
Um, the other thing that has been really coming up for me this week, I have created this metaphor because the topic we titled it Protecting Your Peace. And so I thought, where do attacks to your peace come from? And obviously, we have those attacks that come from the outside, which is the news or things that come in the mail or the email or phone calls we receive, things that other people say, right? These are all these attacks from the outside on our peace. But for some of us, more of the attacks on our peace come from internal. It's from what we're saying to ourselves. We could be alone in a room and still be having these attacks on our peace. And I've really been coming back to, I spent 10 days at a silent meditation retreat when I was younger, much younger. Spent 10 days at a silent meditation retreat, and it was mind-blowing to think that it took 5 or 6 days for the mind to finally settle down and stop repeating the same incessant noise.
Yeah.
And so, I just want, as we lead into this topic, this kind of idea. So I was thinking about like castle walls, right? And the monarch is both aware of the attacks from the outside of the kingdom, but also from inside the kingdom, and is paying attention. And that's why, we do a lot of guided meditation. I know we've talked about like some of the guided meditations that we love.
Yeah, I think we talk about that actually.
And that's kind of like fortifying the walls. It's kind of like pulling in the advisors and getting some wisdom about how to protect your peace. But then also having those minutes each day that is silent meditation, where you've just like ears to the ground. You're paying attention to hear what you're saying to yourself.
Yeah, because we actually, I'm saying, to stay away from negative people, but you actually, you can do more damage to yourself than actually people do it to you. All right, because your negative thinking actually is your own thinking. And actually, it will affect you even more strongly. It will affect you than actually people out there. Because if there's somebody saying something negative about you or talking about negative stuff, just don't take it personal. It will just go away. But if it's you thinking about this particular negative stuff, or you being so negative, that's your internal peace that you actually destroy.
Disrupting.
Yeah.
So how do you stop doing that to yourself?
Yeah, how do you start doing that to yourself? You have to create there's mantra, all right, that you something that you will say to yourself, or every time when you feel negative, you have this negative mindset, you gotta have something that you will say that will get you out of that there's negative thinking, right? Because it's not difficult. It's not difficult to for you change your mindset from negative to positive. It take a lot of practice, all right, but it become easier and easier every day when you're trying to do this mantra, all right. So if you have something negative in your mind, you just change it from negative to positive. Actually, negative is not only so bad, all right, because actually you can empower your energy from the negative into positive and create something beautiful,
Mm, mm,
to yourself, and and share it with others. And ash is not so bad to be negative,
mm.
because it empowers you because you it's something that you don't like,
Right,
and then how can you invert, right, to make it that particular situation in a positive way, right?
right.
That is very, very powerful, something to learn and practice. But we have to practice a lot of meditation, all right? We have to practice a lot of meditation. We have to practice a lot to be with ourselves. We are in the world that people, not too many people like to be alone. They like to be, but we are social people. Naturally, we are human. We are like to be socialized all the time. But the thing is, about being social all the time is what actually destroying us, because we stop thinking about our own thinking. We only
Thoughts.
our own thoughts. We only listen to what people are saying.
Well, the other thing I notice a lot, people who live alone
Mhm,
tend to have like the TV or the radio or whatever on all the time.
mhm.
So they're not alone with their thoughts. And it's like
Yeah,
almost intentional. It's like there's a fear and a resistance,
yeah.
and I know we used to do that a lot more, have the TV on all the time.
Yeah, and TV is dangerous. I mean, TV is dangerous. Okay, because it'll really get you on the mindset that you don't have to think. You just watch, and then you watch whatever information that come to you. And sometimes some of those information can be toxic.
Yeah.
Especially if you're watching the news, right? There's nothing great on the news nowadays.
But even a lot of the shows too,
Yeah.
it's just a way to not be in tune. It's a
Hmm.
way to like avoid.
Hmm.
And so in protecting your peace,
Hmm.
it's kind of like putting on some music and having this, like, creating as often as you can this like personal space where your inner light can shine out more and more,
Hmm.
right?
I mean, if somebody take 1 hour, at least 1 hour, 'cause we have 24 hours a day, right? If we take 1 hour a day just for ourselves, that we can meditate or read something, that valuable for your own, well-being, uh, we can change ourselves. We can change the world, one step at a time, by just doing that. The 1 hour you meditate, you stay in your center, you actually focus on what you're doing. It will help you. It will help you improve your lifestyle, your well-being, and when you have improvement on your well-being, you naturally intend to help others, to have the same the feelings, uh, to improve their own well-being. Because reality is like, if everybody improve their well-being by now, what I mean, improve their lifestyle, improve their way of thinking, and to be more on the positive side than negative side. That's the one is the way we can change the world.
Yeah.
We can really, really live in the world in the ash we can call a paradise, because I truly believe that this is paradise. I truly, truly believe that this earth is the paradise. But because of so many negativity and so many lies that we've been taught for centuries, the world is becoming a mess. It's becoming a mess. So that's why we need to be positive. We need to look for positivity in our life. We need to help people to be positive. But it's the only way we will end the anger and end the war. Is to be positive. If we can do that one person at a time, we right now we have 8 billion people. But if we really work in every I do my part, Mel do her part, and you do your part. It's each one of us do our part to help one person to smile. You know, in just in a few years, the whole world's going to be smiling, right? And that's what we're looking for, right? We want to have people to smile, not cry. I mean, it's so sad to see people's crying because of destruction that is going on, right? And that's why we need to stay away from toxic environment.
Mhm.
We really need to do that.
And at the same time, not avoid the problems of the world,
No, we cannot
right?
avoid.
Because you have to be strong enough.
Mhm.
It's like protecting your peace is not hiding out from the world and the toxicness of the world. It's
Yeah.
building up, it's like fortifying so that you can go out and be a warrior for peace.
Yeah, it's find the solution, right?
Yeah.
It's find the solution. I mean, you can fix problem with the problem, okay? You have to fix problem with the solution, all right? And that's actually is the true secret. When you see a problem, don't just comment on that problem. Oh, there's a problem.
Complain
There's a
about
problem.
it.
Complain
Yeah.
about it, right? No. What's the solution to it? You know, Working to find the solution for any problem, and that it will make us not only be a better person, but we will make the difference.
But I will say one of the things that was overwhelming to me for a lot of my life is that there's so many problems and I couldn't single-handedly solve them all. And so it was a big revelation and a big part of protecting my peace when I recognized and honored the people who are solving problems out there, and that I can amplify and support them, and not have to solve all the world's problems myself.
I mean, we can solve all the world's
Right,
problems,
right.
Ourselves.
We can only do what we can do.
Do what you can do.
One person at a time.
One person at a time. You do what you can do, and that's the most important: is do what you can do to make this world a better place. And one way to make this world a better place is start with yourself.
Yeah.
It has to start with yourself, because when you are in peace, you are able to have your brothers and sisters in peace.
Well, the other thing too, I mean, you've probably seen the videos of like the bus driver, right? Who's just like, everybody who gets on the bus is just like positive and welcoming and changes the whole vibe. And all those people who get off the bus, they go out and they're spreading that positivity. And it's the same thing. Like if my children leave the house very well loved and strong in their peace, then hopefully when they go to school, they are spreading peace and love and kindness and generosity in their classrooms.
Yeah.
And that affects the teacher and what she takes home to her family, and what she spreads to other kids, and what those kids take home to their parents.
Yeah.
Right. And then what those parents take off to work. And it can like really create this ripple effect that starts with the way that I treat my child every morning before they leave the house, and how I receive them when they come home. Like it's important. Each of us are roles.
Yeah, it's so important. It's so important. I mean, I see if, for example, when you drive in the freeway, you see people, really upset, driving and all that, and I just feel sorry for them because for some way somehow they taking their whole everything personal. And I can tell the only reason you're so angry, you're so mad, because you whatever happened to you on the moment or before, maybe at home before you get out of the house, you took it too personal, and then you made it, very negative to you, and now you're angry. I see nowadays people fighting on the freeway to cars, man. That's a scary place to drive now. Right?
And we do have other episodes talking about like kind of managing your emotions. But let's get a little bit back to some practices that are for protecting your peace, building up your storehouse of peace. One I shared a long time ago, one of my meditation practices is, hopefully you guys remember this. That would be really awesome if you do. Let me know if you remember me teaching this last time, but I drop into like a sacred space. The background behind us right now is kind of intentional. It's similar to one of my, sacred spaces that I go in my mind, the bank of a river, the bank of a lake, trees overhead, soft ground. So maybe sitting on that bench and dropping in. And I like to picture the river flowing by. And so that's the river as my thoughts float by. And I can just let them go by and not have to grasp on to every single thought that passes through my mind. I think that so often we get reactive to every thought that we think. And it's okay to just think a thought and let it go by. You don't have to get emotionally charged about that thought. Same with when the person cuts you off on the freeway, you can just let them go by. You don't have to have a reaction. And so when you practice this every morning, just letting your own thoughts go by, then as you go through your day and someone says something obnoxious in the other side of a room that you're in, you don't have to react. You can just let it go, right? You're just holding your peace in the center of any chaos that's going on. And you have a clear head to be responsive and not reactive to the things that come into your environment. It like widens your perception. And so that's when you practice daily, even just, I don't know if you guys felt it, but even for me, just that 30 seconds or 1 minute really brought me back to my own center, right? Instead of thinking about what should I say next, I was just in my center and in my essence, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing how a little meditation, 5 minutes meditation, how much difference will make in the people's life. And there is so many meditations that you can have. I mean, the world is full of meditation. I mean,
Yeah,
we
now it
do,
really is.
yeah. I mean, we do have some meditation. We can, put in the link and later on. We can send you the link. But anyway, protecting your space, guys. Protecting your space, because you need your space. You need your space to focus for something that actually really matter. Okay, um, because you know the reality is like each one individual came to this earth uh, with a mission, right? And if we not living in our own space, we not living in our own alignment. That means we are living somebody else's alignment. That means we don't really live in what we're supposed to be doing here, right? And that's what I believe, that we all came here to do something important, to advance us to the next, right? But to do that, to advance to the next step in our own life, we have to know how to live our own life, all right? Unfortunately, we are so much distraction in the world right now. A lot of people is not actually living their own life; they're living somebody else's life. And why you can tell in one of the big difference, you can tell that people's not living their own life; they live somebody else's life, because you find that people's angry,
Yeah.
people's upset with the little things, right? And little things can make people really, really mad. I mean, I see this lady at the grocery store so pissed off in the little thing, right? And I'm like, wow, I mean, she's
Right.
really,
Hair trigger.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Uh,
How do
why?
you pull that back?
How can you pull that back, all
Right.
right? But, you cannot do this alone, all right? You gotta be
Supported
supported
all the
by
time.
but all the time you have to have support. You gotta and one of the supports you can have is find the like-minded people that actually will support in your dreams, supporting in your vision, in your idea, and then you can talk to them and then they can support you that way, all right? You're not looking for support for somebody actually is being negative or doesn't believe in anything you say or something like that.
Well, and
Also
that's
dangerous.
actually something I was thinking about this morning preparing for this is so now have this awareness of my inner thoughts, right? And maybe I'm having something and I can't see how it's a blessing, right? Because if your core belief is everything that comes into my life is a blessing, and then you've got some horrible thing going on that you can't get over, you're like, I can't let this go, I can't get over it, what is going on? That's also when I reach out to somebody and say, can you help me process this, right? And so then you can help, like when you're looking for the blessing in it, you're looking to let this thing go or
Yeah.
move on, and you like having friends that you can actually have that conversation with. Because what I've noticed that a lot of people do is you want to call your friend and get them to agree with you that it's a problem, right?
Yeah.
I don't do that. I'm not that kind of friend. I will never agree with you. Yeah, like, yep, oh, yep, that's a big problem. That's not fair, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I might start with that, but then we're going to move on to how do you get over it? How do you let it go? How do you turn this into a blessing and an opportunity? Um, and so I look for friends who are able to help me do the same.
I mean, we gotta understand that when we're talking about blessing is not just positive. I mean, God can bless you
Oh,
in
yeah.
many ways,
Yeah.
in a positive and negative, right?
Mm.
But when you get blessed with a negative, it's not anything, all right?
Yeah.
It's not like a curse. It's something that you bless with negative is something that you are for you to look at it in
To
different
learn.
way. It's a learning. It's
Yeah.
like yeah, I gave you this now, and now you need to learn how to get out of there.
Yeah.
It's like like somebody put you like in the edge of the mountain like this, and they say now you climb up.
Right.
How
Someone,
how you how you gonna climb up, right? You need to go to the top. There's something very special on top, right? How can you go there? You know what I mean? And that's how we're gonna see that negative, thing. But how can we make the negative a positive? How can we make the difference, all right? And in somebody's day, all right? Like the people, every single day, is something that will empower you to, will give you more confidence to actually, you know, be more positive person and protect your peace.
Crystal says sometimes the blessing doesn't come until later. And
Hmm.
that's true too.
Yeah.
Is maybe you can't see it right now.
Hmm.
It's on its way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you gotta have you've got to have friends that can help you remember that,
Yeah.
right? We're so blessed to have Crystal in our life that we can,
Yeah.
can help us remember that blessing, maybe it's on its way. You have to trust and have faith
Yeah.
and not get stuck in the negative and you've got to be in the problem solving
Yeah. Yeah.
mindset. And to be a real problem solver, you've got to get back into your own space of peace and
Hmm.
receptivity to the messages that come from your intuition, which I believe comes from a more divine place than
Yes.
just my own intuition.
Hmm.
um right, and reach out and know who to reach out to, because a lot of us too, we like start talking to everybody, right? I remember doing this, right? If something was going on, if I was struggling with something, I'd go and talk to everybody and get all these different opinions and stay in the struggle.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was like my purpose was, at the time, it's like my intention was to stay in the struggle. And I wanted all these people to help me stay stuck.
And
And I've moved
actually,
on from that, right?
yeah, and actually, what you are doing actually is something that you don't even know that
Spreading
you are
my
spreading.
problems all
You are
around.
spreading your problem all
Yeah.
around to other
Other
people,
people,
and
trying to
then
offload it
and
too.
then those people now has your problem that
Right.
now they're trying to offload it, and
To other
now
people.
they're going to do it to other
Right.
people, right?
Right.
So that's what the confusion will
Yeah.
be when you're trying to
Spread your
spread out
problems
spread out your
instead
problem,
of
right?
ask for
Um,
help to resolve.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I believe that if we should tell about our problem, right? We should talk about it because that's the way we want to release what's inside of us. But we need to know how and when and who to help us to do that,
And with
right?
intentionality.
With
Yeah.
intentionality. But we also don't need anybody to actually releasing our own problem. We can do that in our own.
I don't know that that's
Yes,
true.
we can do that in our own. You can do a lot of meditation. You can focus. You can take your focus on that particular negativity, and like I was saying earlier, you create the mantra that
Yeah.
you will
Yeah.
change the whatever you think in negative in your mind. You create the mantra that you will repeat to yourself, 10 or 100 times until that idea, the specific thing that you had in your mind, it will go away. You know what I mean? Because word is magic.
I
It's
know.
how you're using it, right?
I agree. I'm stuck thinking about where we were a year ago, and where we're going to be a year from now, and how we're going to grow, and maybe I'm going to learn a lot more about that
Yeah.
in the days to come. But speaking of having a place to express what you're going through and have people help you reorient to solutions and positive mindset, we are getting ready to jump over to our VIP Zoom with our VIP members, and we're going to continue talking about how to protect your peace. And, it's not just Tovy and I talking. The VIP members, other Awesome Life 101 members, are going to share how they protect their peace and how they deal with conflicts that come up internally and externally. And I'm really looking forward to hearing from those people. And if you are not a VIP and you're interested, please reach out. We are not sending reminder emails out anymore. So if you're interested in being a VIP, just send us a message or post in the group. Otherwise, we'll meet you over there. Have
All
a
right.
great week. Love you guys.
Bye bye.
Bye.